Straighten my mustache on here. All right, and welcome back, Fury Motion Picture Company. So, about a year ago, one of the very first videos I made for this channel, I talked about how if you're looking for an anamorphic lens that covers the full frame sensor, it might be kind of hard to find one. Now, I think at the time Cook had just released their full frame anamorphic lenses, and I had actually had a chance to use a couple or try out a couple for an evening. And they were amazing. I mean, they're pretty much everything that you would expect from a Cook, including the price tag. The other thing is I actually couldn't believe how big they were. Just monstrous lenses. Now fast forward to a couple of days ago, I had the chance to shoot a short film with some friends of mine, and I knew that I wanted to use anamorphic lenses, but again, looking for something that covered full frame as well as something that fit in the budget of the film. Now, I've used a set of Kowa anamorphic lenses before on a short film I did last fall, and even though they weren't designed for full frame, I was surprised at how well they actually covered the frame, and they looked gorgeous. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the budget to use them on this on the shoot a couple days ago. Now, fortunate enough for me, one of my local rental houses had just got in a set of these. Now, these are a set of full frame anamorphic lenses from a company called Xelmus, or Xelmus. I've heard of whatever. Xelmus. Go ahead and look them up online, xelmus.com. These are anamorphic lenses that are designed to cover the full frame sensor. The other great thing is that they are fairly budget friendly. I mean, I think each of these comes in at about $12,000, which, I mean, is a lot, but in the scheme of anamorphic lenses, and especially full frame anamorphic lenses, which are really hard to find, that's a pretty dang good deal. I actually didn't have a chance to test these before I took them out on my shoot, but I did some poking around the internet and found out a couple of interesting things about how they were designed and where they came about. These lenses were designed off of a patent that Panavision had from the 50s. And kind of one of the cool engineering techniques about those lenses and about these is that when you rack focus from close to infinity, anamorphic lenses usually breathe vertically and horizontally. And when it breathes horizontally, it can kind of stretch the face and look kind of weird. So since that can be kind of unpleasing to someone's face, they designed a system that when you rack from close to infinity, it only breathes horizontally. So another cool thing about these is they have a very close minimum focus. This is the 100 millimeter, and your close focus here is 18 inches, a little under 18 actually. And I believe these other ones are 16, a little under 16 inches. So especially for an anamorphic lens, that is incredibly close. So you don't need to use diopters or anything like that in order to get close up on your subject. So like I said, these are fairly new to the market, and so right now the rental house has this set of 40, a 60, and 100, but I believe Xelmus is also, if they haven't released it already, has a 50, a 75, and a 135 that are available or will be available soon. So like I said, over the last few days I've been shooting a short film with these, and I gotta say, especially for the price point, these are pretty fantastic. Now, that's not to say that they don't have some issues. For example, the 40 millimeter, even though it says right here on the barrel, full frame, it's still vignetted on the 2.39 aspect ratio. Now, the vignette was just a tiny bit in the corners, but for something that's built for and marketed as having full frame coverage, it was a little disappointing to put that on and find that little bit of vignette. The other thing I'll say is that the 40, I felt like distorted a lot more than the others. Now, of course, with an anamorphic lens, that's just kind of par for the course, but a couple times I put the 40 on, it was just way too much to be usable in the space that I was in and things like that. I did end up using it for a handful of shots, but for 90% of the film I was on the 100 and the 60. Now, I really loved the look of the 100, and I tried to use it on as many shots as I could. The 60 is really nice too, but you know, I feel like the 100 kind of, to me, stood out from among the three.
Who's this?
Oh, that's my son, Billy.
One other little quirk, which I think is just kind of funny, is that their iris markings here. This 100 is a T2.5, and their markings here go from 2.5 to 2.8, which is kind of a weird jump. On the 60, this is a 1.6, and it goes from 1.6 to 1.7 to 2 to 2.8. Again, kind of a weird jump. And the 40 is similar. It goes from a T2 to a T2.1 to 2.8 to 4, and so on. As far as the mechanics go on these lenses, they are super solid. I mean, this feels like a really high quality, well-built lens. The focus throw is nice and smooth, actually really quite loose, which is great for lens motors and things like that. But smooth and nice, really hard stops, right? And the iris follows suit the same way. The one thing I will say about the white paint scheme is that it looks awesome. I think it comes from the original NASA Apollo spacecraft paint scheme, and I love the way it looks with the white and the black and the red. But with the white, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but these haven't been out on very many shoots, I don't think, because they're brand new to the rental house. But you can already see that there is a lot of black smudges, black fingerprints, and things like that. They're starting to look kind of grubby already. So that's one thing you might want to keep in mind, is that have a bottle of Windex handy or something. Now, as far as the look goes, you can see for yourself in just a second some of the clips I posted, but they have everything that you would expect from an anamorphic lens. The oval bokehs, the blue lens flares, and all of that. And I think overall they have a really nice look. Definitely on par with anything you would see out of an Atlas Orion or anything else in this price range. All right, so not much else for me to say about them right now. Go ahead and check out some clips from our shoot and let me know what you think.